since we meditated together. It feels really, really good to be here with you right before the holidays. And good to see so many faces I recognize so well. And some of you are in our training right now to be group coach leaders, and some of you have been in the trainings in the past. So I want to really make this kind of new meditation group, you could say, also serve the purpose of supporting you as you guide meditations and lead groups. So I just want to really emphasize that everything I do here is for you to use as well. So you don't have to ask any permission or anything. It's all for everybody. And today's meditation, I'm going to share a slide with you guys for that more teaching-like purpose. Let's see here. So I called this one the Luminous Heart Frequency Meditation. I was listening this morning to a very old teacher of mine. I mean, he's old, but also old as in long time ago I studied with him. His name is B. Alan Wallace, and he's a very, very knowledgeable person who has written, I don't know, something like over 20 books and has been a professor and all this stuff. But the instruction he was giving was so basic to meditation and also to dream yoga. And that was really about filling the heart with luminous light and actually to fall asleep that way. Fall asleep filling your heart with luminous light. And so that is sort of like, that was like the seed to when I thought, what will we do during today's group? I thought of his teaching that comes from the tradition of Theravada Buddhism. He's also a Tibetan Buddhist. I'm not a Buddhist. I'm not a Buddhist, but I do take a lot of inspiration from those paths. There's many different paths there. And but we like to also bring in that energy healing and the creative mind and the kind of journeying with our own unique experience. So one thing and we'll get back to these stages in a second, but one thing I wanted to emphasize is today when you meditate, it's kind of nice to think about how no one else's meditation ever in all time and will never be the same as your meditation today. However you meditate today is completely unique and original to you. And the drops of suggestions I give during it, the guidance that you receive, whether it's whoever you're meditating with or you read instructions, every time you meditate is completely your own and unique. And I think it's important that we honor that in ourselves. Just like each of us are completely unique, there is no other, and there will never be another human being like you in all time. It's really quite incredible, isn't it? I was listening to Adyashanti yesterday, and he was saying this, and it really struck me like, wow, we are really incredibly special. I know that's so basic, but sometimes I think in spiritual paths and teachings and all that, it almost minimizes one's originality. And I think it's really good to sort of own that in yourself and be inspired by your own way of being, your own creativity, your own spark, and your own presence. So in the spirit of that, and I see there's a lot of chat messages up. I'm on this little computer, so it's really hard for me to read, but I see a lot of hellos, and after the meditation, we'll take time to connect with each other, and we'll see what shows up after the meditation. Um, okay, so I'm just gonna go back to that slide. And let's just go ahead and begin by grounding our energy. And what does that mean? What is the ground? Think of the ground the way you think of the ground. Is there a place that when you think to yourself, ground, you immediately think of? It might be grass or dirt or pebbles, a stream. What feels like the ground? It might be deeper in the earth. So just let yourself think about it. You don't need to see it or feel it, just thinking about the ground. How do you relate to the ground? And in the spirit of that relating to the ground, take a nice breath in and just feel that breath. Let that breath fill your body. You're probably on your next breath already. So just letting yourself breathe naturally and breathing into your own ground, your own grounding connection with Mother Earth. How does that feel to breathe into your own grounding connection? You might want to send down root systems from your lower spine, your seat, all the way through layers and layers of earth to connect with the glowing heart of the earth. Or you may want to think about sitting by a tree and leaning your back against the tree and just connecting to the tree's grounded energy. You know, sometimes when I connect with the tree's grounded energy, I immediately feel the swaying of the tree in the wind and how it's the roots connecting into the earth that allow the tree to move in the wind. So when we ground our energy, we're also allowing ourselves to be light and flexible. We're allowing our senses to open. And just noticing how your own system is doing right now. Take a weather report. What's going on for you today? What's your weather report? And do this in the spirit of friendship with yourself, kindness. Whatever your weather report is, what's it like to kind of give yourself an inner hug and say something nice to yourself? That's going to be different for each of us. And from this kindness, let's reach out with our attention. You could say with our energy or with our imagination. And let yourself just imagine in your own way. This can be through thoughts. This can be through seeing or knowing or feeling. But just imagine that you're able to take up the space around you. Maybe, I don't know, arms width in every direction, maybe farther, maybe the whole room. Just letting yourself expand. What's that like to just be in that expansion? And it can help to let the body give us direction. So just letting the arms open up, the palms open up. What's it like to open the face, to open the throat, to open the heart, to open the solar plexuses, the belly area, the hips, the legs, feeling that front body open. And then noticing your back body and also allow your back body to open until you're a circle. You're a big orb all around you. And let that be filled with your own unique your own uniqueness. What would you like to fill it with? It might be a emotional quality. It might be a color. There might be very specific words or thoughts or feelings that feel right as a way to expand out and surround yourself with a very loving, healing frequency. And as you do this, the universe responds in more than equal parts. And in some way, unique to you, you invite the universal love to just gently seep in. And that might come through messengers of love. These messengers of love might be guides or ancestors, angels, animals. They might be symbols like a dove or a beautiful thing in nature. In my own little neighborhood, there's a persimmon tree that all the leaves are gone, but all the persimmons are still on that tree. And it's so magical. And so that's one of my messengers of love today, that persimmon tree. And just notice what your creative mind gives you. It doesn't have to be through seeing, it can be through knowing, thinking, feeling, that sense of the kinesthetic. That could be through the body moving a little bit, or just a feeling of melting, of allowing. And here you are, very aware, very inclusive. And these messengers of love are around you. Some of them might be unemployed angels. I love that term. We can invite the unemployed angels to support us at any time. And we can invite our own memories of places, people, animals, nature that just lifts our spirit a little bit. So allow your own unique messengers to come in. And in that atmosphere, let's just go a little closer to our heart space. Your hands might naturally move in front of you, like you're gently feeling your own energy, frequency, and heart space, like a beautiful ball of light in front of you. Or maybe your hands want to rest on your heart, whatever feels right. But if you want to hold in your hands a glowing, loving ball of energy, feeling the healing energy that comes from the palms as you do this. And when you're ready, breathing with that ball of luminous, light filled energy and bringing that light to your own energy heart and just allowing and being as you breathe, knowing that your meditation right now is perfect. There's no other way to be but the way you are. And any thought, any feeling, any sensation is allowed. You just say to it, allow. And as you sit here, there may be a deep silence in your heart. There may be a glowing quality that you sense. So, listening to your own experience, feeling your breath, and allowing this quality of loving, luminous light to just fill you gently, every pore, feeling it through your arms and legs, feeling it in your head and throat, through your shoulders and upper back. And noticing the body, saying hello to any spots that might react in some way to this quality of light filling you. Going slowly, very tenderly with yourself as you do this exercise. And if there's any inner voice that says it has another kind of idea right now, that's okay. Include it. Allow it to be there. Give that thought or that voice or that experience your own kind attention. So you're both the witness and the experience, and all these parts of you are included. Sometimes, as we tend to our energy heart, we can imagine that our heart space smiles. Even if we're feeling emotions that might be different than a smile, we can still feel that warmth in our heart, that tenderness. And we can bring in our creative mind and allow a sense of a spreading and inclusive quality in our heart space. And just notice as you do this through your body what you're sensing. Be very close to your body now. And in your own way, taking your own path through your body like it's a incredible road trip. Notice where you go, and if my body moves as I do this, that's perfect. I'm allowing that movement. And just notice if your breath changes. Notice if there's a temperature to your body experience or a texture. And in this being with your body and being with the moment, what does that invoke? How does that live in you, this closeness, this kindness? Even if it's just a wiggling of your body or a shaking, a turning, a twisting. Some of us live in the body and some of us live right around the body, and both are fine. But right now is an opportunity to go a little closer and feeling that glowing, luminous quality in your own way, in your own system. Take some nice full breaths if you'd like. Breaths that you imagine going all the way down to your toes and all the way out to your fingertips. And let's take that breath and imagine it like wind that can expand and go out beyond our physical body, like wishes that go out into the world. So, what's it like to take your breath and imagine your breath is a whisper on the wind that can flow and reach out in all directions, sending qualities of kindness, of caring, of wholeness out to the universe. And as you breathe in, letting that universal love come towards you, in you, luminous, kind, loving. And as you breathe out, let that expansion be one of generosity, of shared giving. Just a wish, a hope for others' wellness. And in your own way, make this rhythm, breathing in, loving support, and breathing out, kindness and wishes for wellness. Letting the body help you if the hands move or you feel any shifts in your body is supporting the practice. And if you'd like, you can send the same signature of kind, well-wishing, loving thoughts to yourself in the future, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe when you're asleep tonight. Just sending that version of yourself a wish for, for health, for joy, for peace. And then sending a wish to yourself in the past, any moment in the past you want to choose, maybe yesterday, a moment yesterday when you really needed a little reminder of your value or that something was okay. And just sending that loving wish to yourself in the past. Could be yesterday, could be last week, or another time. And you can say words or you can just imagine yourself as though you're giving to your heart in that moment, surrounding yourself with a loving frequency. And remember, you don't need to see it. You can feel it. You can word it. It might sound like, I give to you my joyful attention. I give to you a loving hug. And when you're ready, just coming back to this moment in the here and now and noticing how this flow of loving wishes that flow out and flow back in, noticing your own central channel. This is a channel of energy and light that runs right in front of the spine, from your sits bones all the way up to the crown of your head and beyond. And like a river of light, it flows down and it flows up. We feel it in different ways. There's just our own unique way of sensing this. And we can just set the intention of having this river of light be easier and more present. It's always present, but sometimes we just need to set the intention of, may I feel it even more. May I know my own energy even more. And check in with it, connect with it. And breathing from the top of your head. See what it's like to breathe from the top of your head down, or what it's like to breathe from the top of your head out to the universe. A little bit like a whale or a dolphin can breathe with the top of their head. You can breathe with the top of your head too. It's okay if that sounds silly. You can try breathing from your heart now. Just notice what it's like to breathe from the heart. And then notice what it's like to breathe from the palms. As you breathe, imagine your palms of your hands are just sending energy towards each other or towards your body. And then let the palms of your hand give you a little healing down the front body, helping you connect in and down, again, connecting with Mother Earth. And here in this moment, sitting in your own self, in your uniqueness, and just allowing for a few minutes in silence. You can bring back that sense of a tree behind you that you lean against, or of the roots that extend from your hips and seat down into the earth, grounding and connecting with the luminous, loving quality of the earth, letting it rise in your body, feeling that support as you just allow yourself to be in silence. Whatever shows up in this space can flow in and flow out. And you are aware of the awareness that notices the thought or the image or the feeling that shows up and also disappears. And when you're ready, just bringing your hands together, holding your own hands together. Take a moment to do that, like a gentle massage of the palms. You might want to move the hands together, creating friction. And then letting the hands go over your eyes, just cupping your eyes and soaking in that energy. And then if you want, you can bring the hands to the throat or the heart and soak in that energy. And when you're ready, opening your eyes, and maybe you want to, maybe if there's a little energy buildup, you want to kind of flick your fingers or do a French press where we bring the energy down. If you're sleepy or the energy has settled too low down, like you're about to fall asleep, then just bring it up. Snap a little around yourself. Make a little bit of like glowing sparkle energy around you that wakes you up. And sometimes it's nice after we've gone really inward to just drink some water or look at things in our space and notice colors or shapes. So some of you might have noticed I left my slides up as I led that. First meditation I've led to a live group in about 8 months, so I wanted those I wanted those reminders of where I was at, and that's fine. I'm really glad that I had that. I'm gonna just look at the chat and see if anyone has a share or a question. So, anyone find that it's challenging to go inside the body or it's easy? How does that feel? I have a friend who recently had a surgery and I've been thinking a lot about her experience. It's been a while since I've had a surgery, but when we have a surgery, whether we like it or not, our attention goes into our body, right? Um, and I find that when we do this with our meditation, we learn a lot about our relationship to this inner landscape. And I'm just reading the messages there. And if anyone wants to raise their hand and say hi to the group. And I missed being here with you guys. It's really wonderful to be back. Accepting peace is what I experienced. Um, that was written, and so grateful to have this opportunity today. It was a perfect divine timing. It was challenging to me. Another share was challenging to me this time, also to keep my mind on it. And I have lots of meditations I want to share where my mind does not stay very with it. And the practice, the amazing part of that is that that is meditation. When you are noticing the mind get distracted or go in another direction than you thought you would go in, the beauty that you can witness that, you are really truly meditating. The mind is incredible in its vastness, and we can sink deeply into the present moment and have a quiet inside, and yet words and thoughts will just bubble up. And if we weren't aware and quiet enough, we wouldn't even know that those thoughts were coming to the surface. So one of the best instructions I've ever gotten in meditation is that is real meditation. When the thought or distraction comes up and you recognize that that's happened, that's the moment you're meditating. So none of us should worry about that happening. It happens to all of us. And that way we're all very similar. All of us have our own version, but all of our minds will give us distractions. Melanie, hi.
Hi, Magali, how are you?
Good to see
It's so
you.
good to be here again. Thank you so much for having this meditation for us. Sorry, I'm in a different location from my regular home, so I'm on a different computer and a different connection and different lighting. So excuse that the picture is fuzzy.
Oh, it's
Um,
all good. I love to
but
see you.
it's good to see you again. It's good to be here again with the group. And I'm so grateful that you had this meditation for us today. It was really nice to experience it, and a couple of things I wanted to share, if it's okay. One is that I'm in a different space, and I'm actually, watching some animals for someone, and so when you were talking about taking up the space, one of them was sitting right next to me, and I'm very aware of when you're around other people of not you know, going into their energy or, taking over their energy. And I thought, well, it probably works the same with animals. And so I said, well, I said, I'm going to invite you. If you don't want to be in the energy with me, you can get up and move away. And if you want to, you can stay. And so, so he stayed here beside me. And when you had us do the visualization and, choose a color and get grounded and be with the earth or lean on a tree, I chose we ended up in kind of a bubble that was sort of like a snow globe, with like the tree behind us and we were sitting on green grass and there were like wildflowers and it just kind of turned into a bubble. We just kind of floated around. And it was just a very, very simple, very gentle, but I said, it was such a nice, peaceful feeling, which was, was really a good experience to have. Um, and then also the second thing I wanted to share is that you were talking about breathing outside of your body, and there he
Mhm.
is. And so
So cute. I love it.
and so I noticed that you were talking about trying different parts of your body, breathing, through your palms or your back or your head. And I thought, gosh, this is interesting because I was having such a different experience with each one. I said, it's kind of like, when you were younger and your mom would go clean your room, and you'd start cleaning your room and you start finding all this cool stuff and you're like, hey, I forgot about this. I forgot about this. I was kind of having that feeling like, hey, I kind of forgot what it's like to relax and just feel my hands or feel my feet or, just relax and feel my back. So that was another um, thing that I really enjoyed. And then just the last thing I wanted to say was I just wanted to thank you for having this meditation at this time. I know these meditation groups are, around the world. And I just feel like no matter where you are in the world or no matter what you think or feel or believe, there's just been so much that has happened in the world this year and also at this time, and I think it's so nice to be able to sit and be with each other and kind of just come home to ourselves and just be grounded again. So I wanted to thank you for this. It's great to be
Oh,
here with all
such
of
a
you
good
again.
reminder. And I loved your reminder too, Melanie, of that wisdom of asking the animals, would you like to be in this energy with me or
Mhm,
not? It's okay.
mhm,
That's just so lovely. That's so important, I think.
mhm,
And we can do that whenever we practice with other people or animals. And also know that if you're like in a busy place and maybe you're even very close physically to other people, you can think of your energy going out and expanding around you as almost being in another dimension than that they're in. So it's
Oh.
still psychically protecting you, you could say.
Mhm,
It's creating a bit of your own atmosphere around yourself so others' emotions or thoughts
mhm,
don't as easily come in.
mhm.
And many times people who get overwhelmed, I'm have no idea about your situation. I know I
I am
personally,
one of those people.
yeah. Okay, me too. So sometimes we're more porous
Mhm,
to
yes.
others' energies or thoughts or feelings. And so when we do this, just it's good to know that it's not intruding on them. This is
Mhm,
just your dimension of energy, and you're creating that sort of shield around you.
mhm. Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah.
I like that idea. I think
Also, when you are in a new space, like whether it's someone else's or
mhm,
for whatever, a new space, a hotel room,
mhm,
it's advised. I don't really know exactly the history of this, but to go to the corners of the room and just
mhm.
drop an intention in the corners of the room. You're saying
Really?
like I'm intending for peace or clear
Mhm.
thinking to be here, and I go to all four corners.
That's good to know,
Yeah.
because so many different energies live in common spaces like that, especially a hotel room that's used, like, for very short periods of time by lots of different people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And sometimes, we walk into a space and we have no idea why it feels good or not good.
mhm.
And
Oh,
we could go far down this topic, but it's nice to know there's little practical things we can do.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Maghalie.
thank
Thank you
you.
again. I look
All
forward to
right, so
seeing
good to
you
see
and everyone on the
you.
next
Yeah, and I
meditation.
think I've set out some times, so hopefully, and I'm forgetting even how to remove a spotlight. There we go. Um,
I'll lower my hand.
I'm rusty
There we
on my
go.
Zoom settings, but we have a couple meetings in January and in March, and I think like 2 or 3 a month. And we'll see how this time works for people in different locations. It's nice for me because I'm doing all my teaching at the same time every day of the week, so I can just sort of uh, go on my walk in the morning and know that I have time before my 1 o'clock teaching. So hopefully that will work for others too. And I know that like in Europe, thinking of you, Katie, it's probably close to 10, right? So this will be right before you fall asleep. I did think about that. Okay, Anastasia in Europe also. Hi, how are you?
Hello, good to see
Oh,
you. Oh my
good
God, I
to see
missed all
you.
this. I missed you.
I missed you too.
So good
Where,
to.
tell me again what country you're in?
Well,
Slovakia?
normally I'm in Norway, in Oslo.
Oh, you're in Norway. Okay.
Yeah, but right now I'm in Canary Islands. I'm
Oh,
experiencing a
wonderful.
little bit of summer
Wonderful.
for.
Wonderful.
Yeah, let me I will switch on lights because I noticed that
So
the
what time is
sun.
it there in the Canary Islands?
Oh, it's around 20 to 10 p.m.
Okay. Okay, so similar. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to tell thank you so much for organizing it again. It was so feeling like so good, like coming home, really. We had these regular meetings before and taking teacher training, well, coach training was like having a family. And it was so good just to come back. And
Yeah.
this now bubble, like haven't practiced bubble actually for a good while. So it was a very good reminder that I can feel it up. And I also noticed that like why as I was meditating, I noticed like, okay, now it's December, Christmas is coming. And last time it was like 2 years, like every time basically something happening like in December's.
Uh-huh.
And I remember like I started my teacher, like the training with you, it was December like 3 years ago,
Wow.
21. And then in December 22, I had long COVID. And I remember I was so
I remember you having long
broken.
COVID. I
And you know
remember how hard
what? You
that
told me
was.
something. You told me said something at the time that I still remember. I remember like I was devastated. I had like the darkest thoughts ever because I thought like I'm going to be handicapped or something because it was very bad. And you told me, Anastasia, you are so resourceful. You are so strong. Why don't you use it? I am like, and it struck me like, why don't I use it? Like really, why don't, and thank you so much. I've been using it like really a lot.
Oh,
And
good, good. I'm glad.
yeah, and I'm like, uh, I am like still on my recovery journey, but I'm like much like more normal me than before. I had like changes in my life. I left my marriage after 16 years, and so 2 years ago, like I was there in that marriage, and now I'm here in also in Canary Islands, but then I'm in with different men. And it feels like, my God, things are changing, but then I'm still coming like to this reunion to our family kind of with you.
Yeah, I'm so curious. I'm like, I can't help myself. I'm like, send me pictures. I want to see your new life. Oh,
Yeah,
it's great to be here with you and to see the joy in your face. You seem very, very luminous. Like we were doing the luminous heart. You have a very luminous glow.
thank
Maybe it's
you.
your lighting, I don't know, or your health. I don't know.
I don't know. I guess my lighting and my happiness, and I'm really,
Oh,
very, really like, I mean, it's visible that I'm happy to see you.
yeah, so good to
And
see.
happy to see like, as a, like it's a reunion. It's so nice.
Ah,
And I went during the meditation, it was so cool. Like I imagined myself like a whale, like that was sending like energy out into universe, like sparkling it out. And it made me so joyful.
love that. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
wanted to
thank
share.
you. And I mean that if whenever you guys are doing a breathing practice and you want to just play with it. Where do I want to breathe out of today? Does my upper back want to take some like breaths backwards or my head or my eyes? Like what part of you? That's where we can be really creative. And what I find is that this isn't coming like out of nowhere, this sort of teaching. When energy, subtle energy sort of alivens the body or system, often what will happen is naturally you'll start feeling your energy centers breathing. And it's actually just a looking for the right word here. I'm some of us are not muted. When you feel the energy centers breathing, it's actually that you're aware of those energy centers, that they're functioning really well. They're really healthy. So there's less blocks, or they're just, in energy language, they're in flow, they're opening up. And we kind of help that process along, I think, by using our imagination and our intention and saying, okay, like I can breathe from my hands or from my heart. It's almost in every tradition that, as certain spiritual openings happen, the crown has sensations. And sometimes that really can feel like it's opening, there's lots from different traditions. There's lots of images of that kind of thing. So it's not coming from nowhere. It's coming from somewhere, this idea, but we can play with it creatively ourselves with the breathing, like the whale or the dolphin. Okay, awesome. And anyone have any question about leading a meditation like this? Do you guys want me to share the slide again here? I also wanted to let you guys know as well, if any of you, I'm going to be emailing everybody, but past students and anyone who just is a part of the community who wants to join, I'm starting to do Tuesdays from 1 to 3, a live group mentoring class. And that community kind of membership for the live classes is available to you. So you can write to us at support, and I'll email you about that as well. So let's look at, if we were teaching this, why these 8 steps. I just want to give you a little quick rundown. So grounding and connecting with Mother Earth. We also did a weather report of the body, and we eased ourselves into being present and connected and centered. So many people who attend a meditation like to live in their upper energy. They like to live in their heart and their head. And most of us in our world live in our head a lot, with a lot of thoughts, a lot of images, a lot of activities that require our attention going outside of ourselves. It's all kind of up and out. And so when we start a meditation by going down and in and deep down into the earth, we're doing something very intentional. We're helping people gather their energy and come back home in themselves. And the message on some level is you are safe inside yourself. You are safe being that intimate and close to your breath and your body. So we do that before we go out again. Now, when we go out again, we're surrounding ourselves with support. Non-ordinary reality support might be angels, guides, animal helpers. It could also be things from nature or colors, whatever your unique way of guiding is, use that. But it's a surrounding of that supportive connection. And then these words came to me as I was planning this morning: connect with messengers of love. And I don't know if I said it in the meditation, but messengers of love. It has, to me, that has a very specific ring to it. Messengers of love. So what shows up for the person? And again, in this style of meditation that I share, that's my way or whatever, it's allowing always the participants of the meditation to have their own messengers of love. So what I'm not doing is saying, okay, everybody imagine a white unicorn. That is your messenger of love. Now imagine a flowing stream. That is your messenger of love. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Sometimes I do give suggestions to kind of help people's imagining. But what I'm trying as often as possible to do is give language that's more open-ended so the person can make it their own in their own way. The luminous, so now we're on to stage 4, the luminous glowing heart. Feel it, see it, know it, think it. As soon as I started guiding that, a little voice came up and said, some people are feeling pretty distracted right now. And I don't know if that was true or not, but I listened to it and I gave a little bit of instruction about what to do if thoughts arise as we try to imagine this luminous glowing heart. And to tell you the truth, right now, I really don't remember very much of my instruction other than that showing up. But this would be, and that's pretty normal for me as I enter around 10 minutes into a practice. I enter some sort of zone where afterwards it's pretty hard to recall what it was like to lead it. But that's why I have notes to follow. And it's okay if you're like me or not like me. It might be easier if you're not like me and you can have better recall afterwards. I work on my recall. I work on part of me kind of recording the experience. But the luminous glowing heart, again, thank you, Alan Wallace, gave me that inspiration today. That is a very central kind of metaphor for awakening our own loving nature, our own awakened spirit, and connecting with our higher self. And then we let that light go into the whole body. We allow that love to go into the whole body. So I know I spent a little time, see, I do remember something going down the front body and then inviting the back body to be open. And I put a little note to myself, noticing all your senses. I wanted to keep bringing in that this can be felt in different ways by different people, and that's opening the intuition. And then we did sending gifts of healing and loving light to others. That really flowed into a breath practice. And that is a pretty standard practice done in different ways in different, at least in different Buddhist traditions, probably in many traditions. The breath is used as a vehicle for giving and for receiving. There are some practices where the work is to take in suffering and transmute it into health and send that out. I would not teach that unless you're a very advanced practitioner of that. I don't teach that. I sometimes practice it, but to tell you the truth, with my my system, I have to be careful. So I prefer to stay with bringing in the love and giving the love, bringing in the love and giving the love. And what I assume is that in the process of that, what needs healing, what is in pain, will receive love and light. I don't know for sure, but I kind of, I assume that it will happen without intention, without holding the intention of transmuting anything, just being that flow of well wishes is really important. And then we bring it, there was a theme in this meditation of you and me and our uniqueness. So we bring that to our future self and our past self. And this is something that I think it's like a little important thing for me. It's something I really want to embrace and support others in embracing, is this quality of being self-loving to all versions of yourself. Just like all the parts of you that might not always seem okay or might be in pain. This is a practice of you being loving and kind to yourself. And so we include future and past selves. And then we closed the practice with kind of, in my mind, the most important thing, which is allowing and being quiet and still and becoming more comfortable with silence and stillness. And silence and stillness is grounding. It is centering. And then out of that, I used rubbing the hands together, holding the hands, cupping the eyes, and the French press to to center even more in this moment and in oneself and one's body. So I think that's a good review. And if you, for example, looking at this right now, let's say you want to guide a group in this and you're like, I also have this other idea. Put it in there. Find where you want to introduce that thing that's unique to you that you want to add in there. Or maybe you had an experience during the practice that would be really nice to share with a group you lead. I always meditate before guiding a meditation to receive inspiration for the meditation I'm going to guide. And so whenever using these practices that I give to you, if something shows up for you and you know you're going to be guiding a group in this, honor that. Take that as a message that thing that's showing up for you to share might be helpful to other people that you're going to share it with. It's not necessarily just for you. It's okay if it is just for you. But I think this is something we learn to play with and get more comfortable with as we guide groups. It was actually really interesting for me in my time of grief and taking care of myself and meditating on my own to know I was not going to be sharing my processes and my experience with anyone. That's also really valuable to just be in a meditation only for you, only in the moment, not thinking or recording or receiving guidance for others. So this is like a beautiful play of the unique spirit in each of us. And I think something we all share in this community is this desire to be of service and to help and to share whatever is healing that we come across with others. So it's an interesting kind of dance. Okay. Any questions or shares before we end? No? Okay. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a wonderful holiday and that you stay grounded and kind to yourself and you practice that giving and receiving to yourself. Okay. Oh, there we go. Lavana, I saw that hand.
Hi, Magali. I have a
Hi.
question. It's happened for me a lot, but a long time I didn't meditate. So the minute, it took me few minutes. I didn't went, or I just hear your voice, ground myself, and immediately fall asleep. When you finish the meditation, I woke up. So I don't know, is it meditative? It's still meditative state? Or I
It
missed the
like it's the
meditation,
way
but
you dropped into that level with the meditation that your sleep, right?
yeah, but
What
interestingly,
do you think? What do you, I care about what you think.
what interestingly, when you explain this, when you repeat about the stages, it seems like I heard it, but I don't remember that I heard it. Just when you talk about it, I don't know, it's confusing kind of.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know, like subconsciously,
you're
maybe I
not,
heard it.
yeah. Yeah. So maybe you weren't really in a full sleep state. You were in a light sleep or a meditative state. You were in a trance state that can feel a little like sleep. It's very calm and peaceful. It's restorative.
It was very deep, deep sleep. Like in
Yeah.
a minute,
Okay.
it was
Yeah.
deep.
But you
But
woke up right away when it ended.
exactly. So I don't know. And when you expand and you start to talk about that's what happened, I say, oh, I was there. I remember that I
Well,
was
you're
there.
not alone. I have been known to put a lot of people to sleep.
Okay.
So for that's there can be a sort of rhythm to the speech that when we hear it, it helps us relax and we get so relaxed that it's some kind of restorative state.
Mhm.
But I would always trust you and what you feel it is because I have no idea what it was for you.
So it's still meditative state? This is my question.
You
Is
have to
this the
answer that.
process?
You have to answer that. My
I
belief is
don't
that
know.
it's restorative. It's
Restore
good
it.
for us. It's good for us.
Okay, great.
And I'm curious. I think you and I are going to do some individual work, aren't we, coming up?
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm very curious for us to kind of explore that more, because this is the kind of thing that talking one-on-one will get a lot more information, because I want to ask you a lot of questions and I want to work with you going into these different states and then out of them. So it's going to be good. It's going to be fun.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
All
It was
right.
good.
And that's what I love about knowing you guys sometimes for many years is like we've had opportunities in classes and in different groups to really share and have a sense of what these processes mean individually for different people. I have certain teachers I listen to when I need to enter a similar state, I think, to what Lavana is pointing to, where I just need to kind of relax and restore. And it's like I'm listening more from the heart than from the head.
Mm.
And that's really valuable. Um, I I have a funny kind of story from my teacher, Adyashanti, who is now retired, but once in a while comes out of retirement. Like yesterday, he came out of retirement to give a quick half-hour meditation. That was lovely. But he used to always say on retreats, there'd be 300 people in the first few days. The amount of snoring that was happening during the meditations was intense. Like, and his thing was like, as a society, we are almost all sleep deprived. So you go on a silent retreat, you're going to get some good snoozies, you're going to sleep some because your body, your spirit needs that. And my dogs, if I have them in the room when I'm doing healing work or meditation, they start snoring so loud. It's amazing. So it was interesting what Melanie brought up in the beginning about dogs, because I actually I think you're way more evolved than me, Melanie, to ask them permission. I don't ask my dogs permission at all. I just I just like, if they don't want to be there, they can leave. But I do my thing with them there, and they go, I really believe they go into some deep states. And I just hope that it's healing for them. Okay. Yeah, so maybe a good topic for the future, I'm thinking from Lavana's share, a good topic would be like, what is the difference between self-hypnosis, meditation, deep relaxation? Like, maybe there's no difference. Maybe we're talking about something that is so fine-tuned that it's hard to put words on. Or maybe for some of us, we can really recognize those different kind of qualities. So it's something to explore. And I'm fascinated with the topic. And I have to be honest, I don't have a great level of like giving language to that, but I'm going to try. I'm going to do more research and try to explore that more with you guys, because I think we all might have that question where these differences are. Okay. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will see you in January. And I hope that this time works out. Please write to me at support@Coaching Institute if you have any questions, guys. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.